The medbay aboard the Concordia was quiet, save for the faint hum of sterilization fields and the rhythmic hiss of the air recyclers. Nurse Celia adjusted her gloves and flicked her violet crest back in mild irritation. She had just come off a grueling shift tending to 3 injured Rala soldiers when the calm console chirped. Incoming human patient. The voice of the chief medic crackled. Blaster wounds, moderate trauma. He's one of the engineers from Deck 4. Celia straightened. Humans were still new to the Galactic Accord, and though she had read every medical briefing on their biology, the reports were strange. Red blood, dense musculature, and organ arrangements that made little sense. She had yet to treat one personally. The medbay door slid open, and 2 drones floated in, bearing a stretcher. On it lay a broad-shouldered human, his uniform torn and scorched, his chest rising and falling with labored breaths. Name, Celia demanded. One of the drones answered flatly. Designation, Alex Carter. She moved quickly, scanning his vitals. 2 minor plasma burns across the chest, shallow lacerations on the left arm, contusions across the ribs. Treatable. She prepared the regenerator and leaned over him. Alex's eyes flickered open. Not dead yet. His voice was weak, but there was a crooked grin behind it. You will live, Celia said primly. Remain still. She worked efficiently, sealing the chest burns with a hiss of light. His breathing steadied. She began checking for secondary trauma, moving systematically down his body. When she reached his lower abdomen, her scanner emitted a sharp warning tone. Inflammation detected. Severe tissue swelling. Celia's crest stiffened in alarm. What is this? She muttered. She pulled up the scan. Massive engorgement localized between his legs. Heat signatures were elevated. The tissue seemed enlarged. Her mind raced. Infection? Hemorrhaging? Some kind of parasitic growth? You must remain calm, she told the human sternly. I have discovered a critical condition. There is a swelling. Alex blinked at her. Then, despite his injuries, he started laughing. Full-bodied, painful laughter that made him clutch his ribs. You think that a medical emergency? He wheezed. Celia narrowed her eyes. Do you deny it is abnormal? For us? Alex grinned, face flushed. Completely normal. Happens all the time. Celia's crest flushed a deeper shade of violet, a biological sign of embarrassment she couldn't suppress. You evolved to have a permanent vulnerability in this location? Not permanent, Alex said, clearly enjoying her confusion. Just situational. This is absurd, she muttered, scanning again. Your anatomy is reckless. This inflammation could compromise mobility, balance, even circulation. Alex smirked. Guess that's why we wear pants. A lesson in physiology. Determined not to be outdone by laughter, Celia accessed the Accord's xenobiology database. The human section was woefully underdeveloped, filled with vague notes from field researchers. She searched for anything on lower torso physiology. At last, she found a tiny footnote. Males of the species exhibit episodic engorgement of reproductive tissue, not pathological. Celia reread it twice, crest twitching with mortification. So it was natural, a feature of their reproductive design. Her training had prepared her for fractures, burns, plasma poisoning. Not this. Alex watched her struggle. You look like you just found out the galaxy's ending. I apologize, she said stiffly. I assumed you were in danger. He gave her a lopsided grin. Well, Doc, in some situations it is dangerous. Just not in the way you think. She chose not to pursue that line of conversation. Cultural clash. Over the next hour, Celia monitored his vitals as the regenerator finished its work. Alex, stubborn as all humans apparently were, refused to remain silent. So, you've never treated a human before? He asked. No, she admitted reluctantly. And you thought you discovered a brand new disease? Yes, she said through clenched teeth. Alex chuckled. Don't feel bad. Back on Earth, teenagers freak out the first time, too. She tilted her head. Teenagers? Never mind, he said quickly. But Celia was not content to let the matter drop. She prided herself on knowledge. Ignorance was unacceptable. Explain to me, she demanded. Why would evolution design such instability? Alex hesitated, then shrugged. It's tied to reproduction. Basically, when we're ready to mate, that swelling happens. It's functional. Celia's crest rippled. The idea that such a fragile physiological reaction was necessary for reproduction horrified her. Your species' survival depends on this vulnerability? Yeah, Alex said. Romantic, isn't it? Romantic, she repeated, appalled. It is a biological flaw. Shifting perceptions. Despite her disdain, Celia found herself curious. She had seen many species' designs. The armored egg sacs of the Torvins, the regenerative spores of the Keth. Each had survival logic. Yet humans, reckless, fragile humans, thrived despite this bizarre mechanism. Perhaps, she considered, that vulnerability was why humans fought so fiercely. To protect what was fragile. As she adjusted his bandages, she noticed something else. Despite pain and fatigue, Alex remained lighthearted. He teased her formality, joked about her scanning equipment, and even mimicked the medbay drones in a monotone voice. You're very strange, she admitted finally. Strange? Alex raised a brow. Coming from the lady with a glowing mohawk. She stiffened. This is a crest. It displays my emotional state. Yeah. He smirked. So right now, it's saying you're super embarrassed. Her crest flushed bright violet again, betraying her. She turned away sharply. Trust forged in the medbay. When his treatment was finished, Alex sat up gingerly. Thanks, Doc. Or, nurse. Didn't catch your name. Celia, she said. Well, Celia, you saved my life. Even if you thought you discovered a deadly case of... He waved vaguely toward his lower torso. Human biology. Her crest lowered in contrition. I failed in professionalism. I should not have reacted so strongly. Alex shook his head. Nah, honestly, it's nice. Most medics treat me like a machine to patch up. You actually cared, even if it was a false alarm. Celia blinked, caught off guard. Care? She had only followed protocol. Yet when she replayed her reaction, the panic, the urgency, it had come from somewhere deeper than procedure. Perhaps, she admitted quietly, it was because you are human, unfamiliar, and fragile. Alex grinned. Fragile, huh? Tell that to the plasma conduit I dragged shut before it exploded. She had no answer for that. The beginning of understanding. Later, when he was discharged, Alex paused at the medbay door. Hey, Celia, next time I end up here, and let's be honest, there'll be a next time, you'll know not to panic, right? Her crest flickered with amusement. I will endeavor to control myself. And maybe, he added with a mischievous grin, I can teach you more about human anatomy. You know, for science. She exhaled sharply. One human is already more than enough confusion for me. But as the door slid shut behind him, she realized something unexpected. She was smiling. Humans were reckless, fragile, confusing, and perhaps that was why the galaxy needed them, and why she, Celia the nurse, would not mind seeing Alex Carter in her medbay again.